What is up, metal and heavy music fans? It's Flight of Icarus again with MetalTrenches.com, and it's that time again for me to check out your latest requests and recommendations for underground metal on Bandcamp. And hey, if you like to be kept up to date with the best and brightest metal bands and albums from the underground and above, then stick with me by hitting that subscribe button down below. Alright, we're going to kick things off with Dorzia, and Blood Portrait is their latest single, and I have listened to this, and it rips. Definitely wanted to start with this. Texas group. Got a friend of mine in it who I've covered in a few other bands over the course of this series. But just listen to that. Just ripping, groovy, kind of like metallic hardcore. Love the vocalist. Just killing it. Death metal in there. I don't even know how to fully describe their sound. We got death metal, deathcore, melodic metal. But yeah, they are sick. Like this is their very first single, and I cannot wait to hear more from this project. Honestly, this may be the best thing that he's sent me so far out of all the stuff that he's done. And those ripping guitars. The vocals are just insane. I love the dual vocal parts too. The layering. I almost want to play the whole song, but I got a lot of other bands to cover today though. So just give you a little sample. You can check them out on their Bandcamp page, but yeah. Fucking sick. That is Dorzia. Next up we have Gloria Nexus with a grand monumental to Mortality. I feel like there's a grammatical issue there. But these guys are out of Indonesia, Jakarta to be exact. Cool artwork. A little singing bell to get things started. Black metal in the tags here. Love the drums. Really get those toms going. A slow, kind of doomy build-up. Lots of atmosphere. I just noticed the hanging person here. Didn't even see that before. Nice blast beats. Production's pretty solid. Like, still some edge to it, but you still get to hear all the instrumentation. Just a 5-song, kind of more of a 4-song EP with the intro. Great tremolo melodies. Oh yeah. Aggressive. Kind of something I'd recommend for maybe like the Gorgoroth fan base I'm feeling. Just that chuggy goodness. Maybe a little dissection in there too with the melodic elements. Hell yeah. Super gritty, raunchy, vicious. This just came out in early June, just a couple days after I'm recording this, but you'll be watching this probably a bit after that, just how these things line up. But yeah, that is Gloria Nexus with a grand monumental to Mortality. Then we have GraveRipper with Radiated Remains out of Indiana. Went from Indonesia to Indiana. Fun. Like the simple cover. The yellow's pretty eye-catching. Indiana Black and Thrash and Roll. I'm a big fan of Black and Thrash and Thrash and Roll, so put them together by all means. I've covered a previous release of theirs in Complete Blinding Darkness, which you can see down here probably. This is fun, a lot of like Venom in there. Good dynamics and melodic elements here. But the riffs, man, this genre is all about the riffs, and that's always my biggest thing, so you got me with that. Nice intro on this one. Fun vocal lines, they're very infectious. A little bit of like Skeleton Witch in there too. Big fan of Skeleton Witch. I haven't enjoyed them as much since they had the vocalist change, but still great stuff. I mean, they're on my wall. That's my favorite album from them back there. Which was produced by Kurt Bailey, by the way, oddly enough. Oh yeah. Oh, this is a good one. I can tell this is a fun one. This is just a Rager Ripper of an album, and just $5 to pick it up too. So again, that is GraveRipper with Radiated Remains. Then we have Kvadrat with whatever this means. Looks like Greek. Yes, they are from Greece. Pyrgos? I'm sure I butchered the fuck out of that. Very kind of Migwa looking cover, I should say. Still haven't broken the habit fully of saying Migwa. Another 4-song EP. Black metal, definitely more depressive. Oh, this was a recommendation, now I'm remembering. I attend a heavy metal happy hour every now and then with various writers from some pretty well-known review sites, and we just kind of like hang out, drink, and shoot the shit on Zoom. And one of them recommended this to me as one of his favorites of the year, and I sampled a little bit and was like, oh yeah, I could see that. It's just a despairing atmosphere. Got kind of like that ulcerates like aesthetic to it. Very different style because it's much more black metal as opposed to death metal, but still got that like just bleak, empty, void kind of feel to it. Say a little bit of death spell in there too. But even these guitars here, like, listen to that. This very like ulcerated guitar. I might have to do a bands like Ulcerate list at some point. Very much enjoy doing those to get these recommendations out there in a different form. Yeah, just expansive, but in like the best and worst way. Just bleak. I'm gonna stick with that word, bleak. But yeah, that is Kvadrat out of Greece. Then we have Mordem Obyer with Gibbering Downfall out of New York. So lots of like black metal today. Or is this more ambient? So experimental drone with influences from doom metal, sludge, and ambient. Not always my go-to, but I'm always interested in hearing what horrific soundscapes people are cooking up, especially after, you know, we got one from Loathe, we got Hagbulbia from Portal. Wasn't there another big drone album this year? I feel like I'm forgetting something. I like the little bass in there, little subtle bass lines. They're very, very haunting. These always just make me think of like Silent Hill. Kind of similar to the vibe you get in the background of those. But I know I've got some ambient and drone fans in the audience, and just like with Doom, even though it's not my favorite genre, I like to get this stuff out to the ear holes of people who will enjoy it. So yeah, that is Mordem Obyer with Gibbering Downfall. Ha! Ha! With Chimaera Monstrosa out of Monaco. Metal, death metal, electro, modern rock. Very cool cover. Very detailed. It's like a video game. Definitely sci-fi. Some like Asimov vibes from that. Cool synth. Some like 70s influence there. Ooh. Wasn't expecting that. A little like dance drop there. This is like a dubstep element on this song. This is cool. These are kind of my favorite moments on these episodes, where we stumble into something weird and different. You know what? A little Igor. I'd like to know, are you guys Igor fans? Because I'm hearing some similarities in how you're constructing these. Especially this one. with the electric guitar syncopated with the electronic elements and the broken up screams. That is a very Igor, or an approach I tend to associate with him the most. Piano, yeah, we got all the different instrumentation here. Also makes me think of like early Psy. Oh wow. Yeah, every track a little different too. Only €50, guys, to pick this up. This might be the gem of the day. Ooh, listen to this with headphones too. They do some fun stuff with the vocals bouncing around from side to side. Yo, this is dope. Yo, man, this is dope. Got more symphonic opening here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to... I may pick this one up. This is pretty sick. Loving that. But yeah, I gotta move on. So that is Ha with Chimaera Monstrosa. Then we have Gasoline Guns with Motor Cults out of Ukraine. Complete change of pace here. Just that like classic rock and roll, heavy metal vibe. The cover kind of says it all. Hot rod racing a train with a skull over it in the sky. I think the thing that sold me on this, though, because I'm usually not into this stuff, it's a little corny. Ooh, that bass. I mean, first of all, the instrumentation is really solid. But then also, I like that they went for a more extreme vocal. That extra grit makes it more fun to me. I have been finding, too, that pretty much anything that the US does, the, like, Eastern Europe just does it better. Whether it be, like, the Netherlands, Denmark, Ukraine, Russia, what have you, they just do it better. Because when it comes to US bands that sound like this, more great bass. The bass play is great. Production's really solid. I could actually see myself having a good time listening to this in full. Is the bass player like the band leader? Because he gets to like kick off every song, I swear to God. I wonder, just a test. Okay, guitar started that one off. Combo breaker. Yeah, this sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, if you're into this sort of thing, or even if you're not, like me, and you want to give this a shot, I would recommend it. That is Gasoline Guns with Motor Cults. And we have Pest Records with Damnation, Majesty, and Degradation. So the band's Damnation. Hey, more bass. Keeping things going. It's a Romanian label. Not sure about the band. Romania's in the tags, but there's not really extra details about the release. There's a unnerving, kind of uncanny valley looking cover. Reminds me of something I'd see in like late 90s on the on the record shelf. Sounds like some good old-fashioned death metal, some technical elements. Lots of short releases today too. I don't know what happened there, but I mean, works for me. I like EPs nowadays in the digital age that we find ourselves in. I mean, that latest Soilwork EP was, if you ask me, their best album yet. Got some groove here. Needs a little more personality. Like, especially, I mean, they had the rough spot of following all those very kind of unique and interesting things that I just ran into. So tough act to follow. But there's always a time and place for just this classic death metal sound. Again, that is Damnation with Majesty and Degradation. Then we have Actus Septem with the Catechism of Death. That's fun to say. It's like a tongue twister. Actus Septem, Catechism of Death. Another Greek band. Kind of a neat picture there. I wonder where they're at. Kind of reminds me, In Hogwarts, isn't there like a collapsed hallway kind of between buildings like that? Reminds me of that. Yeah, black and doom metal band here. Full release. Some more wicked blackened vocals. Definitely a lot of doom in this one. Like the cover. Like the darkness of the color scheme. And I love how I love when bands match the color scheme of the album cover with the actual Bandcamp page. It's just so like aesthetically pleasing. Big mood, big atmosphere. Very evil sounding too. We got a more lit version of the artwork here. Oh, they're like drinking buddies. They're drinking with death. I love that. A little dreary for me. I like things a little bit more upbeat, but I can appreciate, and I know I've got plenty of fans out there watching right now who love this depressing shit. Quest for Metal, I'm looking at you if you're watching. Jamie Horsley as well. But yeah, that is Actus Septem with the Catechism of Death. Skognatt returns. I've covered them a number of times. I think I covered both of these previous albums, actually, on this segment. But now we have Reign Eternal. It's a German black metal project. More dreary stuff, too. I tend to like Skognatt. Skognatt's like kind of the exception. I don't know what it is about them, but sometimes I'm just in the mood for something like this. I also like this. He throws in these more dynamic melodic elements. The acoustic guitar. A little Burzum-y, like that guitar sound there. And just how, like, it is. Like, everything is so depressing. I'll go a little faster one here. But sticking with that classic second wave production. This one has a little bit of a Dark Throne, early Dark Throne sound to it too. I'm recording this before the new Dark Throne drops, but by the time you watch this, I think it'll be out already. So let me know in the comments if you liked it or not. I don't have it yet. It's one of the things I'm waiting on. A couple things that have people dragging lately. Anyways. Yeah, good stuff. Kind of got like 3 main songs and 2 interludes. That was a good time. Skognatt's got a really consistent discography, so if you like what you're hearing here and you just haven't caught them in previous episodes, give them a check out. So they got a bunch of stuff. But yeah, that is Skognatt with Reign Eternal. Then there's Glyph with We Are None of Us. And as I recall, this gets a little crazy. More raw production, or just a black metal heavy episode. Doesn't happen too often, but when it does, it's usually good stuff. A much more chaotic whirlwind, kind of picturing like a blizzard in the distance, but also like a chasm with maybe like a swirling hellfire. And all the reverb they've got on the production here. Which can kind of screw up an album like this, where it's a little bit faster, more technical, but this is like the balance, where you can be raw and lo-fi, but still make sure that you're capturing every instrument and all the performance. Reminds me a little bit of like early Bathory production, not the first album, but like the second 2, like Bloodfire Death and Black Mark. But with also a little bit as far as the instrumentation is designed, a little bit more death spelly, that spiraling, miserable quality. Fun fact, we used the same fonts here. This font that they have used for Ritual Abuse Hysteria in the the labels logo here, I used that same font on my ABCs of Black Metal little electronic picture book that I made. Yeah, that is Glyph with We Are None of Us. Alright, y'all, and I think that is plenty for today. Let me know down in the comments, as always, which one was your favorite, which ones you're going to end up picking up, other suggestions that you might have, and don't go anywhere. I have a whole playlist of these if you enjoyed it, and then also full album reviews for new releases, interviews with bands on the podcast, tier lists, you name it, we've got it, so plenty of reasons to subscribe if you have not already. You can also chat with me and the crew on Discord and support on Patreon. But that'll do it for now. Flight of Icarus signing off. I will see you in the trenches.